Oh! Well, welcome to the Mid-South Sports Report. As you can tell, I am the
Wow.
Yep.
Well,
That's
fellas,
awesome.
how are y'all this week? Because right now I'm not good.
What you asking me how I'm doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Matt?
Well, that's just. That's right. Swept them in the dream.
Oh
These
boy, you
guys took
did.
a total beating, and here's my toast to you, boys. You guys got your butts handed to you. Congratulations. Enjoy.
Yeah, that was an old-fashioned ass whipping, as I would call it. Ass.
But
whip.
it's not just been the dream. He just did it this past weekend with the Lucas Oil Series too.
Yeah. How long
That's
have you been
king.
doing dirt draft,
King.
Michael?
How long have I?
Yeah.
A little over a year.
Okay. I'm a little over a year, and I've only got 2,600 points. He's under a month, and he's got over 1,000. Over 1,000 in a month.
Some of the points are ours.
Yeah. So let's backtrack this. All right. I'm going in. I look at my points, and I've got like 50 points missing. I'm like, oh, hold up, what's going on here? Michael's like, oh, I had a little entry fee. We didn't agree to this entry fee. He just snuck it on there. I said, okay.
Snuck it in there.
Yeah, snuck it in there, and I lost big time. Then we come to the second night. No, it was the second or third night we said we're going to do 100-point night.
You said on the second dream, the 126, the 26th dream, you were like, I'm getting my points back. We're going to do 100 points buy-in. I was like, go ahead, buddy. Bring it on.
Oh, you was hesitant first. Tell him, Michael. He was
I
hesitant.
was a little hesitant.
He was hesitant first. But so he done 100 points, and I had a feeling. Michael had a feeling. Matt had a feeling. I'm like, somebody's about to have the same lineup.
I didn't think it was possible. I just knew my lineup would be completely different from the rest of y'all. And then we started all talking. I thought, yep, one of you has got the same lineup as mine, and I'll be damn if it wasn't Willie.
We had the same exact lineup. I'm thinking, well, I had mine in before him, so I'm all right. I'm good. Of course, Matt won. It started distributing points. Well, it's supposed to have been 75. No, it was supposed to have been, was it 75, 35?
200.
200, 100.
100, and 0 for last.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Somehow me and Michael ended up with 38 points. We still lost, and we finished tied for second. But
I told you boys you should have put Overton in your lineup.
But my random finished first. Or finished
Yeah,
second.
that was the tiebreaker.
That was the tiebreaker.
No, you had Madden. I thought you said Overton, but yeah, Madden. I thought I had Madden at first. I thought you had Strickler, but then I ended up getting stuck with Strickler.
Yeah, if
Strickler
was in,
and I had McDowell.
Yeah, if Strickler was in his old ride, that would have been all right.
I think Strickler hit everything but the pace truck.
Yeah. I had McDowell starting 22nd, and I come up all the way to 11th, and Strickler I think finished like 23rd or something.
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad.
It wasn't good. It wasn't good. But we'll recap the dream. I'm about to take all this off. My nose is killing me.
Wait a minute. You're still not done with punishments. You lost 2 weeks in a row.
You ain't done yet.
All right. I'm taking this off, Ed. All right. Be right back.
Oh man, I tell you what, I thought for sure he was going to use makeup tonight.
I thought so, but yeah, well, Unfortunately, viewers, Willie didn't just lose Dream Week. He lost this week too. And the sad part is that this week's punishment was based strictly on Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series races.
We all tied.
And we were all tied after the Xfinity Series race. And for some bright-eyed reason, Willie, with first pick, took Eric Jones.
Conservative. Let me tell you something.
And Michael took William Byron. I had last pick, and I took Kyle Busch.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
y'all wasted a pick.
I was pretty confident in my pick. Michael ended up getting a pick that finished third, so that was good. And Kyle had a little bit of a hiccup, but he still come back for a top 15.
Yeah. Well, Eric Jones, I'm going to tell you something. RPM showing speed right now.
Actual fact, all the Chevy teams are showing speed right now.
Yeah. If you're a Chevy right now, you're doing good. I mean, that's all it is to it. Coming up on the show today, we're going to recap both the dreams. Firecracker preview. We'll talk a little bit about the Kyle Larson domination, the Pocono doubleheader. We're about to get into what the future is going to hold for the Mid-South Sports Report. And then Nashville. We'll talk a little bit about Nashville. Michael will dive in a little bit. We're about to ramp back up into the iRacing Street Stocks. We'll get with best and worst of the week. Willie's rant, but we'll call it the guys' rant of the week. And of course, I want to dive a little bit into charter system for Cup because I think that's really. We saw two dominoes fall with Spire letting go two of their charters to Colic. I think that we're about to see some more dominoes fall, and then NASCAR's got to make a decision. But we'll get into that a little later. That stuff, but yeah. Busy show, but we'll get into it. Future of the show, we've took 2 weeks off,
Yep,
2 or 3 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, we took a little bit of time off, guys. It was great to have some time off. I enjoyed watching some racing with these two guys. It was fun. But what we've seen is we're gonna record the show. I'm going to edit it, and then we're going to distribute it out where y'all can listen to it on the go. We've all agreed we're going to have one live show a month. But the rest of the episodes, we've not picked a day yet. We've not discussed that day of what we're going to pick a day that's going to drop. We're probably not going to have a set day that's going to record. We're going to pick a day that it's going to drop. One, we can get, I guess, a lot better because all three of us can get on here, or just one of us can get on here, record the interview, and edit it in. That's going to help us tremendously on getting guests on, and stuff like that. Not everybody has a Wednesday or Thursday free, but they might have a Sunday or Monday free. So that opens us up to have more guests, bring y'all more content. Also, we're about to gear up to go into the track a lot more often. I can start with the stuff I've been learning for the past month or two. I can start record an interview and then put it into the podcast. So that's what it is. We've come up with a name. I don't think we're quite yet ready to release it because I want to get the logo done because I want to drop it all at once. I don't want to release a name and then not have the logo to go with it. But what we've come up with, I think y'all going to like. I really do. I think y'all going to like it. Let me tell you something. It's probably the hardest things that we have done as a three is coming up with a name for the podcast. And I think we finally, it's a good one. And it's going to make a good shirt design, I think. I'm pretty
yeah.
sure it is.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
going to be
We
a
hope,
good
we
shirt
hope.
design.
We've got it in our heads. We just
We
hope
got it in our
take
heads. Somebody's got to put it on paper and put it on a shirt. So that's coming. Guys, just bear with us. What I'm gonna do sometime this week is take this episode and put it on a word of platforms. I've not got it on iTunes yet. They've not approved us yet, but we're on Pocket Cast, Spotify, Google. We're on 7 or 8 different ones. iTunes just not yet approved us, but we'll get there. If I have to pick up the phone and call Apple myself, we'll get there. But I think what we've finally wrapped our heads around is going to help y'all take us with you and stuff. So, but yeah, y'all want to add anything to it?
I can't wait.
Yeah,
to see the design.
I can't wait to see the design.
It's going to be pretty neat. It's going to be pretty cool.
And we've spent most of the 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks coming up with the new name.
Yeah. It's still going to be Mid-South Sports Report page, but we're going to have the podcast is going to have its own name.
Yep.
And stuff. But also some news is I've got my hotel reserved to go to Michael's backyard for the Topless 100. Now, all we've got to do is get some media credentials so we can bring some interviews to you at the Topless 100. And I'm hoping I've got a Helaglobe, which is a stabilizer for different, where I can capture video, recap, stuff like that we can bring to you. So if y'all are in the Batesville area around August, was it 27th through the 29th or something like that? Somewhere in August.
That's middle August. I can't right off the
come by and say hello. I don't know if we're going to have a tent set, but I know we're going to try to get some media credentials to do it. Also, some good news, I think, Matt's front is y'all are going back racing, correct?
That's right. We are. Friday night's the first race up here. So
Friday night. So guess what? The next time we have a show, Matt can give us his recap on. Hopefully, cars come out. I mean, they took a long time off. I think that's gonna be a big key.
I'm hoping so. I won't be there this Friday though. It's my wife's birthday. If I go to the track without her, I'm gonna be. The podcast will be down to 2 guys.
Well, hopefully they'll show their car count, and maybe that's be optimistic to go.
Yeah. I am planning on getting to. I believe they're having a couple races in July, so we don't run near as often as you all run down there. So, but I will definitely try to get to the races here next month. So,
hey, more the merrier. Hopefully,
John. Oh, John.
Hang on. Wait a second. That man cost me $225. John, do not start with me on that man. That's one driver that I did not want. Okay, ran over. Thank you very much. That is not part of my rant, though. I will take that. So, all right, we'll jump right into it. Dream recap. Man, awesome 4 days of racing. Awesome.
Best.
I'm gonna tell you something. That was probably the best 4 days of racing that I have seen. Not in person. I have seen on a television or computer screen in a long time. Only thing that we didn't get to see much, and I don't know if it's just this generation or what, is the aggressiveness. There wasn't a lot of aggressiveness. It's like, I thought that you would see a lot more, leaning on each other or elbows with stuff like that, and we just did not see that. And I
thought they raced each other with a lot of respect.
Yeah,
with the amount of money that was on the line, I've seen a lot of respect shown towards each other. But we still seen a lot of sliders being thrown, but they weren't weren't the Bobby Pierce type slider.
No, not
Respect.
the Bobby Pierce type sliders. Also, one man walked away with $273,000. Brandon Overton did not lose a race at all.
Nope.
No, well,
He
he
won
lost.
One heat.
One
One
heat.
heat race.
Did
One
he lose
heat
it?
race.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
One heat race.
He lost one heat race. He won his prelims and won the big show. And I don't know, and you know what? We might call it unfiltered, whatever we're going to call it, because I'm going to say it. We're going to let the cat out of the bag. But I kept reading where Mr. Richards was begging the officials to tear him down.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Tear him down. And the man is so cocky. Brandon Overton so cocky, and to back it up and says, I can't wait for them to tear it down so we can get paid. And Josh James stayed over. I did see on his Facebook page, he stayed over to watch the tear down and said he watched Brandon Overton drive across the track with that money. And I'm going to tell you something. I did not think a little small team out of Hazard, Kentucky, Eric Wells and them could have done what they did. I don't know if you'll ever see what they did in your lifetime again. Because to win 4 nights in a row with 70-plus cars, I don't think we'll ever see it again. I mean, we might. I don't know.
Well, I mean, when it even came to Dirt Draft on Saturday night, right, for the 26th stream, both of you two saw my lineup, and you saw that I put Overton in. Overton for Dirt Draft that night was high. He was extreme. Like, I think he was 24 grand, I think, which is probably the highest I think I've just about ever seen for a guy. And I told both of them, I said, I don't care how I'm going to do it, but he's going in my lineup. And they're like, there ain't no way he's going to win tonight. And then he finished second, I think it was, in his heat. That was the night he finished second in his heat race. And started 7th or 8th, wasn't it? Yeah, he started 7th or 8th or something.
I think it was 8th because they redrew a 6. That one night they redrew a 6.
I think it was he started 7th. Yeah, it was 7th or 8th he started anyway. And both of you two said there ain't no way he's coming from 8th to the front. And I told both of them,
I would have never thought it.
You just watch. I told them, I said, you just watch. And it was like, man, you could just see him coming like clockwork. Every lap he was just catching. And Michael and him both were like, uh-oh.
I think the one he lost was Kyle Larson winning, right? Was that the one heat he lost?
No, he beat Kyle Larson.
He beat him in the feature, but I don't think he beat him in the.
I want to say it was him and Bronson.
Was it him and Bronson?
I'm
going to tell you something. If that's another guy, if Bronson would have kept it out of the fence, I think he would have won one of them nights.
Hey, my mind was dead set Saturday. Bronson was winning that race.
Yeah.
I mean, I even said it. You might as well put the name on the check, Kyle Bronson, because he's going to win it tonight.
Well,
yep, you did.
And another guy Saturday, if he had a caution, he probably would have. He was the fastest car on track was Ferguson.
Yep.
Yeah.
He got up coming. He got up third, and he was coming. He was coming. Kyle Larson struggled, and to be the best driver in the world, and he's still to this day he's still the best driver in the world. And every time he shows up dirt race, he's going to be a favorite. But they left something at home that they didn't bring to Eldora, because he just was not a factor, none, that whole time. Now, he showed up Sunday and kicked their ass. Where was they at Sunday?
Texas.
Was it Texas?
Yeah, the All-Star race.
Yeah. He didn't win the, the 126 or 127,000, but he went and picked $1 million check. And I'm gonna tell you something. If y'all a Kyle Larson fan, I'm proud of you for being a Kyle Larson fan. But some of them, some shady people. Man, they some shady people. Threw up a meme says, "Hold my beer, watch this," and him having $1 million check. But what the Larson fans don't want to say is what Overton did in a 4-day period was unheard of. It wasn't unheard of, but it was pretty miracle to do it. I mean, Larson had to come and basically play the strategy game to stay up there for that final 10-lap stage. You know,
Mhm.
asphalt don't change that much. It don't change that much at all.
John, I'll say I'm the biggest Joey Logano fan there is. He has nothing for Larson.
No.
No. Like, listen, I'll say this much. When Kyle Larson, after he won the $1 million on Sunday night in the All-Star race,
right,
makes a comment that basically he was glad that Brandon Overton wasn't in the All-Star race to take his money, that's telling you something right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know, man. That was Michael's already secured his tickets for the world.
Yep. Can't wait.
I've called around, and I forgot to tell Michael, both of them campgrounds I checked, they're both sold out. They sold out this morning.
It's all right. I'll sleep in the car. I ain't scared.
I'm still on the fence. I said something to the wife earlier. I'm still on the fence about going. I just hate to use 3 days of vacation to go. But
It'll be the best 3 days of vacation you ever spent.
You're risking your job to go. I'm gonna tell you something, Michael. I'm 90% going, 10% might back out.
Hell.
So, I'll probably know by the end of tomorrow because I'll probably be booking a hotel. I found one that was $400 for 3 or 4 nights or whatever it was. So,
for the world,
yeah.
Well, book it for 2, and I'll pay my half.
I think it's an hour away, but what's an hour drive?
Yeah, what's an hour?
I drove 35 minutes to go to Daytona every day, and I stayed down there 6 days. So what's an hour? But yeah, I'm looking forward to the world. If I don't go, I'm sure I'll be glued to the screen. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I'll be glued to the screen because that's going to be it don't pay as much money as what the Dream paid, but I think the car count will still be there because of the prestige of that event. It's what you want to win. Moving on to the Firecracker. This is a prestige event as well. I hate that Lucas Oil has run it this weekend and not giving everybody a chance to go to it. But I mean, of course, Brandon Overton's there. You know, you got Brandon Shepard, Chris Madden, Dale McDowell, Rick Eckert, Daryl Lanigan, Cade Dillard. He's over there running in Illinois right now. Max Blair, Mike Norris, Ricky Wise. I mean, all these guys. Bloomer's running it. Dennis Erb. The list goes on and on and on. It's going to be a good event if you got dirt vision. You know, Michael, give me 3 guys that you could see maybe holding that trophy at the end of the week.
Well, obviously you got to use Brandon Overton. I'm going to say I got one surprise winner. And I don't know how much it'd be a surprise. He's from that area. But Max Blair. Max Blair.
PFC.
And I'll go with 2 upsets. I'll go with Ryan Gustin as well.
Yeah, I mean, because Lernerville, it can be top. It can be top heavy, right? You can be right on the cushion up there. That'd be another one. I'll throw 2 out there. Well, I'll throw 3. I think B-Shep's going to be strong up there. You know, I mean, Greg Satterley is always strong in the Northeast.
Yeah, so is Norris.
Mike Norris. And another one, Mark Whitener.
If he shows up.
He's green.
he was scheduled to be at the World of Outlaws show this past weekend, and they went red.
Right.
But you only got one race in. Maybe he seen the forecast. Thought,
Yeah.
let's not make the trip.
Yeah. Did you say you had 38 cars?
I think that's what it counted was 38.
38 cars. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Lucas Oil, they're up in Minnesota this week.
Yep. Deer Creek.
Both races are not at Deer Creek, are they?
Yep.
Both races are.
Yep. Yeah, both at Deer Creek.
So I mean that'll be a good show to watch. Of course, we have all these streaming services, everything. I mean, we have Dirt Vision, Flow, Mav. We got that, so y'all don't have to pay for it. We'll give you recaps, right? So that's my plan on it.
But buy it if you can.
Yeah, buy it if you can. If you got the money to spare, I honestly think that Dirt Vision probably puts up the best coverage, graphic wise, than a lot of streaming services. But when it comes to Eldora, that's hands down Eldora.
Yeah.
I don't know if Eldora has their own production team or what, but that's hands down Eldora. That was excellent coverage they did, you know. And with James Essick on the call, please stay green, you know.
But the best part was the cicadas, and then he said, "Don't swallow it."
Yeah. But man, heartbreak for the old man, the GOAT, and I don't know. He didn't give nobody a warning, did he?
No.
If y'all ain't heard the news today, Moyer just hung up the helmet out of the blue, selling all of his stuff, and I'm sure that stuff will sell pretty quick.
The shop, the hauler, the cars, even the house is for sale.
Wonder why he's selling everything.
I don't know, unless he's moving out to Arizona or he's moving back to Iowa. I don't know what their plans are, or just getting a smaller piece of property. I really don't know.
Junior needs to buy that property. Be a great property for him to buy. But man, but I touch on another one. Josh Rice, man, what a heartbreak for that guy at Eldora. That was a heartbreak for Josh Rice. Man, he blew a motor up, right? Blew a motor up and stuff, and just could not have a good solid run. But Matt, welcome back.
Sorry, fellas, internet issues.
Yeah, we understand the Canadian issues.
John Fowler, it's Billy Moyer Sr., dirt late model racer from
the GOAT of dirt racing. We all know he's probably the GOAT of dirt racing. His record probably will get beat this year on the Summer Hell Tour. I think Bab will probably get 101 or whatever it is that he's got to have. But that's another thing I want to touch on real quick is the Hell Tour. Man. And I thought I had a thing, but I don't. But what do y'all think of the Hell Tour so far? With what we've saw, I mean, the first race had Bobby Pierce winning, but he didn't win by much.
No. By all accounts, he should have been beat both races. He should have been beat at Brownstown. He should have been beat at Peoria.
Who was running with him at Brownstown?
Tim Lance and
Tim Lance should have beat him.
I don't remember who got second.
Moran was second.
Moran.
Yeah. So the winner so far on the Hell Tour has been Pierce has won the first two. Then the third race went to, was it Moran? Moran or English?
It went to Moran, and then
English got two, don't he?
No. Bobby won the first two. Then it went to It might have went to Tanner, and then Moran, then Tanner, and then Shannon Babb.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah. That
I'm
sounds
pulling
right.
it up real. I'm pulling it up real quick. Let's see. So
Nobody's running away with it. Let's put it that
no,
way.
Peoria, Brownstown was Bobby. Peoria was Bobby. Kinnicky, I probably butchered that, but that was Moran. Tri-State was English, and the 19th, which was Saturday, no, Friday. That was no, it was Saturday. Yeah, that was Bab. Bab won at Fairbury. 45 cars at Fairbury.
I mean,
Fairbury.
I would expect that from Fairbury.
Yeah,
Yeah.
45 cars. A lot of people show up to Fairbury because leave your motor at home, right?
Yeah.
That's not your motor track. So, but this week they're at, of course they're
LaSalle right now.
they're at LaSalle right now. They're going to Spoon River, which is an awesome track. Then they go to Sycamore, which is right close to Chicago. Then they go to Peevely. Then they go to the Peavey, which is Federal Auto Parts. Then they wrap up the week at Jacksonville, Illinois. So I think Bobby will probably win Peavey. I think.
Yeah,
I think
he'll win I-55 for sure.
He'll win Peavey. I don't know who. See, it's the one thing about the Hell Tour I love is some of these locals will snatch some wins, right? You're going to have some locals snatch some wins. So, I mean, you about saw it with Tim Lance at his home track.
Yep.
So, that's another. But man, I mean, we still have so many races left. Of course, we're in our dirt draft, and right now, I ain't even kept up with it because we're having the show with it on. But I feel pretty confident with my lineup. Just want to throw that out there. Matt don't feel confident with his. Michael, he just put one together, so we don't know what his is.
It looks like Rain's winning the show right now.
Uh-oh.
It looks like Rain. I might be wrong, but it does look like Rain.
But yeah, we do dirt draft, and we're gonna if people start showing interest, we'll start throwing up some dirt draft stuff and giving away prizes to that. But I mean, I don't want to give prizes out for 3 or 4 people. I want to have 10, 20, 25 people in there, and we'll start throwing some prizes out there.
Yeah, I've noticed our participation in the NASCAR fantasies kind of dropped off. People not putting lineups in.
Yeah. Davey Lamont, go ahead and throw him out there. That's another one that fell off the wagon.
Davey's in love right now. That's where he's at.
That is true. He has found him a woman. So, yeah, he don't this. Would you go ahead and jump on to the NASCAR? Kyle Larson domination of the Cup race is not Cup race. We'll go ahead and put plural. He's won 4 in a row. He's finished second. 7 out of the last 10 races, maybe. I don't know.
His last 7 finishes, if you count the All-Star race, are second, first.
Right.
But didn't he finish last at Talladega?
Yes. Yeah, it was basically right after Talladega is when they got on this.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of.
He's on a tear.
Yep. This is Jimmy Johnson-esque.
Who's Jimmy Johnson?
I'm gonna tell you something. He's on pace right now to, if he keeps having a season he's having, he's on pace to squash the Jimmy Johnson-esque, right?
Oh.
I don't think he'll get 13 wins to beat Jeff Gordon in the modern era. 'Cause I know Petty won 30-something races or 40-something races, but they was running 60-something races in a year.
No, I don't think he'll get to that point. I mean, but the one thing that it does prove to me, though, is that everybody has to remember that 5 car is the 48 team,
Yes.
right? The 88 became the 48 this year, and the 5 car is the old 48 team. That's Cliff Daniels' car and everything like
Yep.
that.
Only thing that Alex Bowman did was inherit the number.
Number and sponsor. Basically, that's what
Yes.
happened. And let's be honest, boys. The way that 5 car has been running this year. Now I know Hendrick had been off for a couple of years, but last year they were on it a little bit towards the end of the year and everything like that. I hate to say it, but it just proves that Jimmy just stayed in the car too long.
Yeah. And there's a lot of drivers that done that. I mean,
you've got Darrell Waltrip, you've got Richard Petty, you've got, those are 2 that come right off the top of my head that stayed in the car too long.
yeah.
And I would even say Tony Stewart to a degree. I mean, I know he won a race the last year that he was racing, but that was
Denny Hamlin. Let's go back to that. Denny Hamlin gave him that win.
Pretty much. I mean, but that was the only kind of race that I remember that he ran kind of well at. Yeah. I mean, the only guy so far in the last few years that have kind of gone and have retired or whatever and went out at the top of their game, the only 2 that come to mind to me are Jeff Gordon and Carl Edwards.
Right. Yep. But there's some guys that walk away too soon. Carl Edwards, that's another one.
Well, of course. I mean, you know what he did, but you know what, he wanted to walk away at that point, and you know what,
I don't think he's regretting it any.
I don't either.
He's not regretting it, but I think the whole Dale Jr. scared him a little bit with his wife being a brains doctor. I think, and I don't know if she got what I read, that Carl Edwards' wife got a hold of Dale Jr.'s some of his medical records and was going through that, and that's what scared him away. Yeah. There's an article out there. I'll have to share it with y'all. I'm not gonna share it out, but
it could be. But you know what? At the end of the day, if he made the decision, and what, he went away. I respect it. He went away at the top of his game, and he basically said, "I'm not coming back," and he hasn't come back.
No.
So. But
and I think if he comes around, he'll want to get back in the car. That's why you don't see him. He's gone. He's disappeared. He don't want to be around it because he knows he's got that racing edge. If he gets back in close to a car, he's going to jump back in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, biggest takeaway from the race at Nashville, I would say, is teams not prepared for what they were going to encounter. I cannot remember ever seeing as many brake failures on an intermediate track as I saw on Sunday. There were a ton of brake failures.
But some of them didn't prepare their cars right.
No.
Right?
No.
Rodney Childers called Cliff and said, "What are y'all putting on the car?" Cliff told him, "We're putting short track brakes on our car."
Yeah. So
Rodney said that's what they was leaning towards that. Cliff said he wasn't hiding it one bit. He was putting short track brakes on his car. Yeah. And that's what be honest with you, that might have probably won the race, because look at all the brake problems you had, and you called it the last show when we was going to you knew they was going to go to Nashville, that you thought brakes would be an issue because it would be the 750 package.
Yep. Well,
you was right.
Well, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is Nashville is a 1.3 mile track. So basically, distance-wise, we're talking the same as Darlington, right?
Right.
But the front straightaway at Nashville is longer than the front straightaway at Charlotte.
Didn't know that.
Nashville is all straightaways and very, very short corners. And that's where the problem is that when you've got a high-speed racetrack like that, where you've got big straightaways and short corners, it's like Martinsville. Basically, at that point, you're talking about Martinsville. And one thing that I the crew chiefs and everybody said is Nashville may be an intermediate track, but they have to set the car up more like a short track because of how it races.
I've now went back and watched it, but in y'all's opinion, and I'll go with Matt first because he's more the NASCAR expert. In y'all's opinion, with the rising on the track, did that provide a better intermediate race than you have seen in the past?
You know what? My concern is the whole thing boils down to what I've been talking about all year when it comes to NASCAR. NASCAR's biggest problem right now is the car. The car right now is the big problem because they've had this model since 2013. Every manufacturer has had body design changes on it. I remember when Toyota brought out that Camry. I think it was 17 or 18. I think it was one of those in that year. And I remember so many people looked at that thing and said, holy crap, that thing looks like it's engineered to race. Because remember how wild the front end looked on it and like all these louvers and all this other kind of stuff. And it was like, what in the hell? And it was almost like when that Camry come in, it was like Toyota basically went and said, all right, we're going to engineer and design a car that's going to be focused more on aero. And that was where the problem was, is that the engineers got so involved with it, the car became so aero dependent. And that's where the problem is right now, is that the packages that they have, the 750 low downforce package, basically they have to put as much downforce built into the car as they possibly can so that it'll drive. But the problem is that you don't have enough downforce when you're in traffic so that the guys can actually make good passes and stuff.
Well,
and
I heard that
guys
was the
complain,
problem.
right?
I heard that that wasn't the issue this week.
It's not the issue in the back of the pack. The issue is the front of the pack. For whatever reason, the wake at the front of the pack is way worse than the wake at, there's a ton of wake in the back of the pack, but whatever reason, everybody's fighting it and then everybody can pass one another. But at the front of the pack, it's like the guy that's got clean air, he's just got such a huge advantage. And it's no different than with the 550 horsepower package.
So you
the guy at the front's got
put a taper on the car to slows the guy that's leading down?
To me, the problem is that at the end of the day, NASCAR recognized it because we look at the next gen car. Look at all the crap on the next gen car. I mean, a lot more of the aerodynamics are built into the bottom of that race car, and there's specific aerodynamic properties that car has to make sure that air is going through underneath that car, so the guy behind can actually get a proper clean sniff off of it.
I'm very, very, very disappointed in NASCAR right now. Let me tell you why. One is they're not hyping this new car up.
Not near enough. No.
You are about to make a change that's about to change the future of the sport right away. You need to, one, do what SRX is doing with that series and have a David Stremme or a Ken Schrader in their cars, testing their cars just like that. You need to have non-drivers, even if it's their Xfinity drivers, in them cars, testing them cars, two cars side by side, showing like, look, these cars are going to race. But to me, you're going to wait till October. Them guys ain't going to race in October at the test. They're going to get out there and get to feel the car and stuff like that. They're not hyping that car up enough what they needed.
Yeah. But that's my own opinion, though, is at the end of the day, we have to take the 2021 season and kind of, you
can't make new parts.
You can't make new parts. The car, we already know the car is super aerodependent. The guy that gets out front is going to probably, for the most part, seems like anyway, the last little while is going to win. And you know what? Kudos to Hendrick. I know John and a few other guys think it must be Knaus is cheating again or whatever the deal is, but you know what? Those cars have been torn down in post-race inspection.
I said it before and I'll say it again. You're not cheating until you get caught.
Yeah, exactly. You ain't been caught. You can't. There's no way that they've been cheating.
Them cars, I guarantee you, they might not have come out, but I guarantee you they've already took that 5 car and took it back to R&D Center and tore it down piece by piece and still have not found nothing.
Yeah.
Now, there was a report that Joe Gibbs come out and said there's something they're doing. There's something. And
Well, the Gibbs bunch is a bunch of crybabies as it is.
Well, that's the way they've always been. I mean, the problem is right now is Hendrick Motorsports has hit on something, and the biggest problem for the garage as a whole is that whatever the hell they hit on works with both packages, and it's making them faster in both packages, and that's where the big problem is, because you look at Texas at the All-Star race and everything like that, and the Coke 600, those cars were the ones that were running up front.
I'm going to tell you right now,
And it's not just Larson that's running up front. It's all of them are running up front.
These owners are kicking themselves for not allowing practices right now, because practice would help them right now.
Oh, sure it would. Absolutely it would. It absolutely would help.
If they had practice right now, I would bet my paycheck Kyle Busch would have 3 wins by now.
Oh, probably.
But with him not having practice, and him not having much chemistry with Ben Bayshore, they cannot click.
But the biggest problem is, Willie, is that you give practice now, and you know what? Hendrick has already hit on it. What happens? The problem that is, I have always found, and you know what? Yes, I'm a Hendrick fan. You can throw me under, you know what, whatever, guys. You want to go and throw me under the bus or whatever you want to do. But it seems like of all the teams, if Hendrick hits on something, it takes a lot more effort and a lot longer to get them off that pedestal than any other team out there. It's like once they hit on it, you got a long road to hoe.
Done the same thing. They hit on something and they took off. Haas hit on something and they took off with Kevin Harvick. We going through these phases, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you something. I don't think there's a train that's gonna stop Larson no time soon. I do not see it. I would see it if you say, all right, let's take him to a road course, and he don't do good at a road course. You took him to a road course and he was dominating at a road course.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what else you can do.
And my big concern is for this weekend at Pocono is that Larson always ran really well with Ganassi at Pocono.
Yeah.
He was always up front at Pocono with Ganassi.
I think if we had a doubleheader, they should have qualified. They should have qualifying this week for a doubleheader. The metric deal, and then you're doing the invert the next race. Come on, man. It's just
the problem is I think you know what, right now the way that Hendrick Motorsports is running and everything like that, even if Larson won the race and they all finished 1, 2, 3, 4 on Saturday, you could start them 17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th on Sunday, and they're going to come straight to the front.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go back on to adding to that whatever that Risen and the PJ1 of these tracks, if they do away with this stuff, yeah, it would be single file, but you would get impatient drivers, and you would start to see people moving each other.
Well, see, that's the thing I think with NASCAR, though. These guys are just, there's not a performance. I don't think there's much performance bonuses that you have like you had in the old days. You know, you're out there, all right, you get whatever finish you got, you give me a good check.
It right? Just, yeah.
I'm not aggressiveness no more.
But I agree with Michael. I mean, one thing that they need to do is I think that this Resin or PJ1 or whatever the heck that they've been putting on the racetracks, they got to quit doing that.
Yep.
They got to quit doing that. Just stop. At 100% stop. The drivers are going to watch race. The drivers are going to complain bitterly because they're going to say, well, hell, we couldn't pass before. Now we really can't pass. Well, guess what? I can tell you from experience based on iRacing, I'm sure Michael can agree and Willie can agree. If you have to hit the same line every time absolutely perfectly, or else the guy behind you is going to take you over, that's a lot harder to do than having it where you could potentially, I missed the line a little bit, but I got the PJ1 to save my ass.
Yeah.
You know, it is a lot harder when you have to run a specific line and hit your marks every time. It makes it harder to drive, in my opinion.
Well, if you go back into the day, yeah, you've seen side-by-side racing, but when it was single file, eventually drivers got impatient with one another and started moving each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what killed Bristol's when they started putting that crap down.
And they graded this.
Well,
they graded Bristol.
That didn't help it any either, but it created that top line, and like I said, save each other. when they get into it.
Well, I mean, you fall back to the fairgrounds. That right there that ain't no side by side track.
No.
You running, you can't even pass there, and you're gonna be running. Basically, the middle, the momentum makes you run the middle. You run the bottom, it's gonna basically bump you up to the middle. You've got to run the middle, and we don't have a track on the schedule right now that is like that.
But
I hear some good reviews on Nashville that said the racing they could move around a lot, right?
Yeah.
But it was hard to tell if Nashville was a good race because Kyle Larson dominated it. So you can't go off of that, So I don't know.
But again, I agree with Michael. I mean, when I look at Bristol, my own personal opinion, I hated when they reconfigured it, when we repaved it. I think it was in middle of 07, I think it was.
Yeah.
We went and we're going to put the progressive banking in, and we're going to knock the banking down from 36 degrees to, I can't remember what the hell it was. I think they went from 28 to 32 or some stupid thing. Like, it was some ridiculous thing. And it was like, as soon as they did that, they killed Bristol.
Mm-hmm.
Because
they have not had a sellout since, besides their
that
30%, their 30%.
They had a sellout the first race after the reconfiguration, and that was the last one.
Yeah.
And
but they have to put PJ1 now on the bottom to keep them on the bottom. If not, they're going to be up against the wall.
Well, and the problem is that everybody will argue, well, you know what? It's a one groove racetrack because if you don't run the top, once the PJ1 goes away, then you're slow. And it's like, well, listen, the problem is that how the hell do you move a guy out of the way when he's running up against the wall? If you hit him, he's just going to hit the wall and keep going.
Yeah.
Like, you can't. Old Bristol, and that's what the guys were talking about with the dirt when we ran the dirt at Bristol. It raced like the old Bristol because you had to be on the bottom. And you could move a guy up out of the way and get by him, and away you go. Yeah. And, I remember an interview, and there was people complaining in 2010 about Bristol. And Bruton Smith said, you know what? If I have to, he said, I'll tear it up and put it back, because they have the original Bristol with the 36-degree banking. They have it laser scanned. They have the file.
They need to go do it.
And that's my opinion too. It's like, if Bristol gets to the point where it's time to resurface it, it's like put it back to the way it was.
I think they need to put 36 degrees in there, personally.
Oh yeah, well, they need to put it back to the way it was. 36-degree corners, just like it was before they reconfigured it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll go back, and I'm beating a dead horse, but these drivers are not aggressive like the Rusty Wallace, the Darrell Waltrip, the Dale Earnhardt. No. The drivers that I grew up watching, they're not aggressive enough where they won't put a bumper to you.
No,
but they'll ride behind you 15 laps. Well, and the boys on Door Rubber Clear said it perfect. These races are way too long that you can wait for somebody to slip up. There's no sense of urgency.
But Willie, the problem is it, Goyles, this again, it all circles back to the car. Because if you go and you get impatient with somebody and you put a fender to them and you knock that fender in a quarter of an inch, now all of a sudden you're slow. Like, you just knocked 2/10 of a lap out of your car.
I'm hoping they fix it with a composite body, because I don't think the composite body will do that.
Well, and that's where I point my square finger right back at the Xfinity series, because those boys can beat the hell out of them things.
Yeah.
And like the right sides are scraped off of them at Darlington.
Well,
and they're still running, they're still leading the race, and the right side's totally scraped right off.
Allgaier and Kyle Busch, point exactly. I thought they were both going to take each other out at the end of the race.
Well, so did I. But you know what? They were able to bump and bang off of one another, and they were still fast because the bodies could take it. I think the composite body is going to be one of the biggest helps to NASCAR Cup Series racing in a long time. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying about Earnhardt and everything back in the 90s and everything like that. But the thing was, back then, you could knock the fender in a quarter and a half an inch, and it wasn't going to kill your day.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, I'd like to see it get back to them times.
Oh, I would too.
We'll touch on this a little bit before we get to our picks. Charter system, Colic dropped the hammer, and they're not going to bring one full-time team. They're bringing 2 full-time teams. They bought 2 charters from Spire. Even bought the one charter, pulled the rug from Trackhouse. Trackhouse is leasing that, didn't even know they was selling it. So now at the end of the season, Trackhouse has got to find a charter. And NASCAR is about to have to push their rule on, do we take a charter away from a team because they finished in the bottom 3?
Yep.
You have the 51 in there, and they have not got out of the cellar in 3 years. Now Cody Ware has jumped out of that seat, and I follow a group. It's Run What You Brung. It's a Run What You Brung Uncensored group. Toby Christie is an active person in there. He's an active journalist for NASCAR. And he thinks, what he thinks is about to happen is Rick Ware is about to manipulate the system and pull up. He's about to manipulate the system and have the 15 car drop out of the races and move the 51 car back into the points where they don't lose that charter. Them charters are worth $6 to $7 million a piece right now. If I was Rick Ware, and tell me if you agree, man, if I was Rick Ware, I'd sell every one I had. Because I think they're worth more money right now than he can make money racing.
I hate to say it, but right now the charter system is what's going to kill new entrants and new interest in Cup. Because you can't have teams that are putting mediocre cars, and we know which teams they are.
Yeah.
And Spire at least got rid of 2 of theirs. That was good to see. I was happy.
But Spire's not in they're not in their business market.
Yeah.
Even they come out and said their business market fit selling to. They bought them cheap.
Yeah.
Was going to hold on to them until the time was right and sell them. Guess what they did? They sold them when it was hot.
Now they are keeping the 7 car. They already come out and say that. They are keeping the 7
for the 7 car.
Yeah. So they're keeping the 7 car. So Spire's still going to have 1 car next year. And that 7 car actually hasn't been running that bad.
No.
But, the problem is that we have already heard the rumors, and I don't, no confirmation of this or whatever. But Trackhouse didn't even know that they were getting that charter sold. They found out on social media.
Come out and said it. Justin Marks come out and said it. He said, news to me too, when I heard the same news y'all heard at the same time.
Yep. He heard it at the same time. And that it's like, and the problem is Trackhouse is looking to expand to 2 cars next year.
That ain't gonna happen. Not unless they go uncharted.
2311 wants to have 2 cars next year.
The only charter I see that they can grab is
GMS is going Cup racing next year.
But I heard they already have charters.
I don't know where they've come from, but GMS is supposedly going Cup racing next year. So now we're starting to see some bigger teams and everything like that. They're coming in. You know what? We could have a fight for open cars next year.
I sure hope so. Man, that'd make my day.
I
don't see JTG having 2 cars next year. I think they go down to 1 car.
Probably.
I think the 37 car is about to go away. I think Rick Ware sells at least 2 of it. There's no possible way that Rick Ware can field 4 next-gen cars. I do not see him money-wise fielding 4 next-gen cars.
Right.
Because you cannot just buy 1 car and go racing. I think if I read it right, you have to buy 6 or 7 cars right off the bat to even get into the Cup Series with the next gen car.
Well, each team is allowed to have a maximum of 7 chassis per year.
Right. But you have to have a minimum. I think there's a minimum you have to have. Colic, I honestly think, and I'm a Colic fan. I honestly think Colic will be a top tier team within 5 years. I honestly believe that. I think they'll be right in the conversation with Joe Gibbs, Stuart Haas, and Hendrick. I think they leapfrog RCR. I really do.
Well, except right now, Colic is basically RCR cars, right?
But you're not going to be a affiliate no more with the next gen car.
No, but you know what? I honestly think that anybody next year could come out and be a good. I mean, nobody's going to have the upper hand next year. Nobody.
I'll probably reel it back a little bit because you have Justin Haley. Justin Haley is still a up and coming driver. But guess what? He does have one win under his belt. He still has a win.
Which I'm still bitter about. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah. But yeah, the charge system is up after 2024. But NASCAR has to continue because I don't think they have the money in the bank to give the money back. Right? I mean, because I don't think you say, okay, we're going to do away with the charter system. Look at all the millions that people paid for the charters. I just don't see that happening. But we'll see. We'll get to the picks. Doubleheader this weekend, guys. Doubleheader Pocono. So, how are we doing this, Commissioner? We doing a pick each race, or are we doing
a pick each race, like always? And I've sent y'all the drivers you have used, and we will start with the truck series.
The truck series. All right, I had to cup up. Hang on a second. All right.
Willie, you have the first pick.
I'm on the clock, huh?
You are on the clock.
All right, hang on just 1 second.
By the way, in case y'all are wondering why we just said you're on the clock, because you have 1 minute to choose a pick.
All right. Screw it. I'll take Ryan Preece. Back to back.
All right. I'm now on the clock.
Now you on the clock. Hey, wait. You finished first last week.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
My bad. Okay.
That's right.
You had Byron. He finished third.
That's right. See, y'all could have stole one right there from me. But go right ahead.
I got to see who I picked here. Okay. I am going to go Ben Rhodes.
Ben Rhodes. That's not a bad pick.
That's who I was going with.
Ah.
All right. Now I'm on the clock now. And now I got to go look. I will go with. Todd Gilliland.
Yeah, that's a good pick.
All right. So, enough of the trucks.
Xfinity.
We'll now go to the Xfinity.
Ty Gibbs. No, not Ty Gibbs. Back it up. I've got ahead of myself.
Your pick is made, my friend.
He ain't in the show.
Yes, he is. I just checked. He's listed starting 14th.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, Ty Gibbs in. I thought it wasn't his race. Well, I'm picking Ty Gibbs because he's going to win the ARCA race. He's going to have laps on the track.
Ty Gibbs. All right. Your turn starts now, Matt.
I am going to go with torn between two
shouldn't have
drivers.
Cut first, then Expendium.
Two drivers I'm torn between. Now, which one do I go with? I'm going Harrison Burton.
I think Harrison Burton tears the transmission up.
Just because I picked him. That's the only reason he's going to tear the transmission up, because I picked him. Because that's what Willie says on every time I pick somebody. It's, well, he's going to tear that one up.
Harrison Burton. I am now on the clock.
We picked one of your drivers again.
No, I've done used Harrison. I used Harrison last week.
And he about won till he wrecked.
Oh man, who am I? I guess I'll have to do it. God dog it. I guess I'll go with Jeb Burton.
Ain't a bad pick.
Yeah, I was thinking about him too. So,
all right, the Xfinity is in there.
Two drivers, huh? All right, we picking one, then going through again and pick another one, or picking two off the bat.
no, we better go one and race one race.
round at a time.
Roger.
And just 1 second, so that way nothing gets confused. All right, Willie.
Showing some speed. Hope they got their act together. Kevin Harvick.
Cup Series is making sure you haven't used Harvick. Harvick has not been used. Harvick is the pick. Harvick. All right, Matt.
I am going to go with Ross Chastain.
Ross.
That was a fluke. They finished second yesterday or last week, there, boss. Just letting you know.
I am going to go with Kurt Busch.
Boy, did you catch the podcast, Junior's podcast? Yep.
With Spencer.
The second part of Spencer.
Yeah.
Oh, he caught him a non-driving piece of.
Oh, they hate each other.
God,
Always
he got
will.
fired everywhere he went.
All right, Willie, your second pick.
Man, this is hard. God.
Running out of picks is the problem.
Yeah. I'm going to throw him out there. I don't think he win it, but I think he can come close, come like in a top 10. Give me Austin Dillon. I have used him, ain't I? No, I haven't.
Nope, you're good.
You're good.
Austin Dillon. Matt.
Well, I am going to go with Tyler Reddick.
So we both went with RCR, huh?
Yeah, try to both bad mouth that one, bugger.
And I'm going to go with Bowman.
This ain't one of Bowman's strong tracks.
It's a Hendrick car.
Yeah, it is a Hendrick car.
Look, I'm not wearing a clown suit. I will burn picks.
Well, hang on a second. We got an announcement about that, too.
Yep. I'm going to make sure.
And I am in charge of this part of our picks. So, we've decided that we're getting a little whiny each other about picks and punishments and all this kind of stuff. So, we agreed, I came up with the idea, and we have agreed that once the final event on Sunday has completed, we will be jumping on for a quick call. And we will be putting all the events that we have entered for the week onto a wheel. including overall. And we'll be spinning the wheel. And what the wheel lands on will be the event that the punishment will be applicable for. So none of us will have any idea which event it will be. We don't know if it will be the overall. We don't know if it'll be a specific event. And then we'll be spinning the wheel again with a list, and we haven't figured those out yet, of punishments. So the loser of the week will have to do the punishment that the wheel picks. There will be 3 punishments. All 3 of us will get to pick the punishment that they feel needs to go on the wheel, and we'll randomly spin it. And whatever one it lands on, that's what you get for the week.
Damn.
So there's no way that we can figure out what exactly event it's going to be. We don't know if it's going to be overall for everything or what specific event it's going to be. And we don't know what we have to do for punishment until the week is finished. So we're just doing that for a little more fun.
Well, I like it.
Oh, Daniel, that is still to be done in this
That's
show.
still to be done is this show. That
Damn it, Daniel.
All right. Now we got one final thing of business on the picks. And I will go live here for the wheel. We've got a double header for the Comp Cam series. They are at I-30 Speedway on Thursday night. They're at the Rev on Friday night, and Boot Hill on Saturday.
So
Then we got
for?
What's
this for?
The Comp Cam series and the Firecracker.
So we get the same start spot for each race?
No,
we're doing it for each race.
for each race.
There we go.
All right. This one is for the Comp Cams tomorrow night at I-30 Speedway, which you can see all 3 on Flow TV.
And who's the spin for, Willie?
This is for Willie, starting spot.
Ugh!
Oh,
Mark that
no.
one off.
Good luck with that one.
21st. All right, we're going to hide that choice. Now it's time for Matt's fate for I-30.
Come on, 25. Are you serious?
Oh, Matt gets a 5. And let's see what I'm going to get awarded. Well, me and Willie's going to battle it out there in the back. 16. Now we'll put them back on the wheel. And this is for the Firecracker tomorrow night. Willie's first up.
All right, I'll take it.
Willie gets a 6. Had that choice. Matt will start tomorrow night.
Oh my God.
And
I'll take that. I'll take that.
looks like I'm going to get to crawl into this deal.
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Oof.
Well, what field filler am I going to get?
shouldn't
Funny.
talk to guys like that.
All right, now we're going to put them right back on there. And this one's going to be for the Friday night edition of the Comp Cams at the Rev.
Give me a one. Oh.
18.
18 it is.
Take that one.
See what Matt's going to get in this one. 13.
I'll take a 13 on that one.
All right. And what do I get? Come on, be kind. Nope.
Oh,
That'll be
wow.
interesting.
This will be an interesting race.
All right, now we're into the Friday night portion of the firecracker.
So Michael was 16th on that one. So 13th for me, 16th for
maybe.
Michael, and 18th for Willie.
All right, Friday night portion of the firecracker. Hello, Mr. 22 for Willie.
Better keep that Conway close by.
All right. See what Matt gets. Not much better.
Not much better. I'll take a 17 though.
And
Now watch him get like a 3.
I need it.
Oof.
That'd be a 13, so nobody's got a real big advantage on that one either.
Now we're into the Saturday portion.
I don't think your wheel has hardly ever picked a top 5 number.
Yeah, you just jinxed it.
No. I'm on the top 5.
So that's 8. This is for Saturday comp cam, right?
This is for Saturday comp cams.
Oh damn.
Oof.
17th. That's gonna be tough.
That's another 17 for Matt.
Yep. That's my one.
Come on, baby.
There's a 6. There's a 6.
And
All right, this is the money maker right here. Come on.
Main event for the topless. Or not topless. the
Firecracker.
firecracker. Main
All
event for the topless 100.
Firecracker.
It's been a long week. Oh, a 14. Oh.
I'll go ahead and take care of these top numbers here.
Oh, damn. 21st for me.
Come on. A 24, 25, a 22, something. 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, 24. Ugh.
11. Well, that ought to be interesting.
30. The Rev. And Boot Heel. So that way I know which one's which.
Well, that ought to be interesting.
That it should.
All right. We are going to get to talk a little iRacing. Michael, we're starting up street stocks this week.
Yep. I can come back off our 2-week break that we had with that as well. Wasn't planning on missing last week, but
We went back for 1 week, and then we got 4th of July.
Yep. Man. May
Yeah,
run a double header this week just to make up. No,
Yeah,
would've done one.
The problem was, I think everybody forgot it was Father's Day last weekend, and I most guys we talked to couldn't make it because they were having dinners or something like that. So
I'm going to try to race. Computer's giving me kind of some issues with iRacing, but we're going to try to get racing.
CPU's getting hot.
It's something, I'm telling you right now. I've got some pretty serious issue with this. I've been looking at buying a new one. So that's going to be on the list. But I'm looking forward to it. And stuff. So
you can catch it on B Willie Productions on Facebook.
That is not me. That's Bradley Wilson.
Yeah.
Awesome broadcaster guy.
Yeah.
Getting back into
Does a great
swing
job.
things and stuff. So I'll try not to get into Matt's dad again. But
Oh man. Speaking of that last race with Matt's dad, I don't know how I even finished the race because I couldn't stop laughing.
Oh,
I love my dad, but God, I thought he wasn't going to see another day after that race.
Man.
Frickin' Willie
Nice.
turned him, and I beamed him.
look, as a what is that called? As a statute of limitation, is it passed yet?
Oh, yeah, it just
All right, let's break that down. I saw him coming up. And I'm thinking, Don, don't you do it, son. I never lifted. Because if I knew if I lifted, I probably would have got involved in it, right? I didn't know Matt was trying to miss him, but he did. He tried to miss him, and he didn't miss him. And then I think Don got him again.
Oh yeah, I was actually having a good race for a change, and nope. 2 weeks in a row, I've been involved in somebody else's junk, and it was just like, you got to be kidding me! Like,
But guess what? The way the structure is, one good race will put you right back in the top 5.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So I think Michael's shot out of the league. I think we're gonna go try next Tuesday. Michael went and ran with them. Did pretty good. So we're gonna venture out a little bit and quit messing around with ourselves and try to venture out to new leagues. Of course, it's about to get ramped up. Everything else. So
yeah, because our league, our personal league, once the street stocks is done, I'm done running it until the winter.
I'll probably be done because of the computer issues till I get me a new one built.
And I'm just way too busy right now with work, so it's going to be probably on the back burner until fall, once things start to slow down a little bit in the local racing season.
Once winter kicks up, son, I think we'll bring back 3 leagues probably.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's best for our charity event is wait till this winter when we got time to actually sit down during the week and plan it and put the effort into it.
I don't want to put it together and have 10, 15 guys show up.
Right.
When I put it together, I'm going to tell you right now, there will be a long list of prizes that will be given out. We're going to do it right. No money will not be prizes, but we will have prizes that we will send out: hats, shirts. There might be some race tickets. There will be long list. I've already talked to some people about it, so we're getting them on board. It's going to be big. I'm going to tell you, it's going to be huge.
And the biggest thing is procrastinating about is this Joey Logano paint scheme, I think.
Oh.
We said he got Joey Logano in John's deal. That's why he was complaining earlier about losing the money and everything like that. And we told him, we said, well, if you win, you might as well give some of the money back to John to paint you a nice Joey Logano car. He didn't like that comment too much. I got some pretty profane responses in return for that.
So, all right, move on to best and worst of the week. Matt, we'll start with you. Best and worst.
You know what? Best of the week, actual fact, I think came out today for me. Was happy to hear on the news, at least in the NASCAR world and everything like that. I think we've now got a clear path on where Hendrick Motorsports is headed in the future. It was announced today that Jeff Gordon has been named the vice chairperson of Hendrick Motorsports. Basically, he is number 2 in command of that organization now, starting in January 2022. He's leaving Fox Sports, but for the rest of the competition, I hate to tell you this, but this is more bad news on top of everything else you've been having to deal with, because I'll tell you what, Jeff is one heck of a leader, and he is going to expect to be winning. He doesn't like to lose. He'll be expecting to win, and he'll be the kind of guy that he'll make changes in a hurry if they need to happen. So that's my best of the week. I think we know kind of where that's going. Mr. H says he's going to be around for a little while yet, but I think the path is laid down there. And
like Mr. H put him in a corner. I ain't saying Mr. H put him in a corner, but I think Mr. H like, look, I ain't got too many more years left. Especially not being over this thing.
Yeah.
You know.
So
and what do you I mean, is the ownership when that goes over and Mr. H does reach the end of his life, will there be a 50-50 stake? Will Gordon own 50% of that, or will he just be the CEO of that? I mean, I don't know how that plan works. Have they kind of released that? Or
I suspect that he'll just become the chairperson of Hendrick Motorsports is what it'll be. Jeff's not the kind of guy that's going to want to put his own name on it or anything like that. I mean, Hendrick Motorsports is an established team. He's going to keep it as Hendrick Motorsports. I think that's what Rick would want.
Yeah, but you think he'll take ownership stake of it?
Well, he's got an ownership stake in. He is the only other person other than Rick Hendrick that has an ownership stake in Hendrick Motorsports.
I know he owns solely the 48 car. That's all his.
Yeah. He's the only person other than Rick Hendrick that has a stake in Hendrick Motorsports. I won't be surprised if he ends up becoming the sole owner of Hendrick Motorsports once Rick passes. I think
basically just pays off Hendrick's family to take ownership.
I think so. It's going to be something like that. So I was real happy to hear about that. I think that's a good move for Hendrick Motorsports. I also think it's a good move for that he's leaving Fox Sports. No offense to my hero, but he wasn't a great color commentator in my opinion. He needed some work.
I think you saw that with Clint when Clint Boyer come.
Yeah,
I think Clint was a natural at it, and
I think
it mesh well.
I think the writing was on the wall. I really do. In actual fact, what I'm kind of hoping for is Harvick hopefully retires here in the next year or two. Because if you put Harvick and Boyer in the same booth, I think you'd have one heck of a color commentary team.
I think you put him and Stewart in the same booth, you'd have a heck of a commentary.
You
but
would.
I don't think NASCAR is going to come with a 10-foot stick with Stewart. I think they're kind of mad at Stewart for the whole SRX thing.
Oh, they are. They are.
So
they are.
And I'll be honest with you, and looking at the viewership, SRX was second, right under NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
They had almost 2 million people watching that race, and NASCAR had a little over 2 or 3 million watching it. So they're, and I think Eldora is going to bring a lot of people to watch it. I think Nashville will definitely bring a lot of people to watch it. Being prime time on CBS will watch it. I think with them on the sports network, I think it's hurting their viewership. That's my opinion. You have a prime time there for a reason. You need to use it, not put them on a sports network channel. That's my opinion. And so,
so I'm going to go with my worst of the week, and this is actually going to the dirt world. And this is to talk to Tim McCready. This is to talk to Brandon Overton. This is to talk to Jonathan Davenport. This is to talk to Kyle Bronson. Listen, you guys, when they come to interview you after winning heat races and all this other kind of stuff, I do not want to hear you guys bitching about the track state. Set your damn car up to run the track as it's set up to be and get your asses out there and race it. I do not want to hear drivers bitching about the track state unless it is a safety issue. And we have none of the three of us have seen a track other than maybe one.
Circle City.
That it needed to be an issue where they needed to go out there and rework the track.
What was that track what was that race I missed because they redone the whole damn track? I had to go to bed because I had to work the next day, and they didn't. Was it the Show Me? No, it wasn't the Show Me.
No, that was Mag.
Yeah, the mag race.
The mag race. We worked
I
the
had to
truck
go
for an hour.
to bed over it because they spent 30 to 45 minutes with rain coming, reworking the track. It was longer than 45 minutes. They had
It was absolutely ridiculous. And you know what?
for
I
50 laps.
I will say this much, because the drivers were complaining at the Dream on Saturday about the fact that it's too slick. There's not going to be enough passing and everything like that. Well, at Eldora, they were literally fighting rain, and they did not rework the track at all because they didn't have time to touch it. And the three of us can agree, if that track wasn't in that kind of shape, there's no way Bandon Overton comes from where he started to win that race.
Yeah, I agree.
I didn't know. Did Bronson complain about it on Saturday?
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday.
It was Friday or Saturday. He said
he complained about it.
Yeah,
I remember Creedy complained on Friday night.
But Creedy complains every time he gets a microphone in his face. Same with Davenport.
Same with Davenport. And Overton is not as bad, but he has said it before.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's just like, listen, you guys, quit it. You guys got shocks. You've got whatever the hell you need in the pits. Set the car up to race the racetrack. And you know what? Deal with what you got. Because I am tired of hearing that, because at the end of the day, when you guys come on to basically a national television broadcast and complain about the condition of the track, that doesn't put a good light on that track or the event.
Yep.
My best of the week will probably have to go with, it was good seeing the clips of grandstands plumb packed at these dirt tracks and the NASCAR track.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
that was good to see. Nobody scared away and all that. My worst of the week is to the SMI group and the Dover group. Get off your little hindy ass and get with NASCAR, because they're doing their tracks allowing coolers. Texas and Nashville was probably one of the hottest of the races of the year. Nashville sold out of water by lap 45 out of a 300 and something lap race. They was out of water by lap 45. You could not even carry ice into the track. It's a disgrace to the sport. When I went to Daytona, that was not an issue. As long as you had a cooler that was 14 by 14 and no bigger. And I had a cooler that 14. You opened it up, they looked at it. As long as you didn't have, I don't think you. Yeah, you. I don't know if you carry beer in or not. But they opened it up, looked at it, and you was gone. And I did hear about parking issues at Nashville.
Yep.
That's something that you should have had plum day to clear that up.
Well, there were a couple issues there, Willie, because they were charging for parking to start.
$10 to park. 14.
They were charging to park at the racetrack. Sorry, nobody charges. Look, the only place that I've ever paid for parking at a NASCAR event was Las Vegas. Okay, but I have to reference that Las Vegas only has 2 lots that are pay parking. And you have to pay for them in advance and show your pass to park in them, and it gives you a little closer access to the racetrack.
Daytona does not charge for parking. Only trackside parking for all the races, but they charge parking for every lot besides one lot, and you have to take a bus over to the track. That's lot 7. Daytona, for the Truck Xfinity, you can park by Bass Pro across the street. Any other race, you have to pay $35 to park. I'll pay the $35 to park because my entrance is right there. I'll pay the $35 park.
Yeah.
And Daytona has it figured out because their exit plan is quick.
Yep. But I
heard it was a 4-hour wait to get out of the parking lot for Nashville. 4-hour wait.
It at the end of the day, it's, I'm okay. Like I said, Vegas had 2 lots that you could pay for, which gave you a little bit closer access. You didn't have to walk as far or whatever to get to the racetrack. But all the other lots are free. You could park on any other lot, and
Martinsville has no paid parking.
They had transportation and everything like that. Listen, you can't charge if you're going to charge for parking. You can't charge for parking as people are coming in to park. You better have it where it's a pass so that it's in the car, and when you show up, your pass is displayed.
Well, here's my thing.
I didn't like that I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact about the cooler deal and everything like that, running out of water, the whole kit and caboodle. What concerns me, and it came up on XM radio this week, there was concern because supposedly what happened this weekend at Nashville Superspeedway had a lot of similar issues that happened when they opened Kentucky back in 2011. And everybody said when those issues happened at Kentucky in 2011, when they opened the track for the first time and whatever it was for the first Cup race, that was what put the nail in Kentucky's coffin. It was literally that first race.
That's why Nashville signed a 4-year deal.
But what it's going to be is that it's going to be a 4-year deal. They've screwed it up already so bad. How are you going to make it up to them now? You've got 3 years to get your act together, and you better make it up. And you know what? You better allow coolers in, and you better not be charging for parking.
Yeah. The thing about I see with Nashville is they have a room where they can make it a 4-lane highway. The second time they went back to Kentucky, it was quick. Like, I reckon in and out was quick because they expanded it to 4 lanes.
Oh, it was, but you know what? The damage was done. That's the problem. Is the first one was so bad, the damage was done.
Kentucky's making so much money off of 30,000 trucks sitting in their parking lot right now, and 20,000 trailers sitting in the infield. There's 30,000 trucks on the outside and about 20,000 trailers sitting on the inside of Kentucky Motor Speedway. That's where they're making their money. Nashville, I think they tried to make their $10 million investment back one race.
Yep, I agree.
$9 for a beer, $13 for a hamburger. You run out of water by lap 45. Look at all the money that you lost right there. They said the lines was 150 to 200 people deep. The line.
They got a lot of work to do before their next race next year. A lot of work to do.
Michael?
Well, now that y'all are done, my best of the week is my wife. She got me the World 100 tickets and possibly fixing to get me some Daytona 500 tickets.
Join the club, son.
My worst has to be the same as Matt. Drivers have got to quit bashing tracks because eventually they're all going to be gone.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. My uncle, he raced at the local track that we had here in town. And, of course, we had the Hot Rod Reunion in, which we had probably, I don't know, there's every bit of probably 5,000 to 10,000 old cars that was circulating the old track and all that. And I had hoped that that track would open up. He said there's no way in heck that track is opening up. They've damaged the track. They've cut some walls out and stuff like that. I didn't take a good look at it because every time I look at it, I just see my childhood basically go up in smoke, because they shut the track down.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, keep bashing the track. It's not going to be there. There's a couple tracks around me that I don't see making it too much longer, and it's not because of the bashing; it's because of the poor ran track. But I have seen some tracks close, go-kart tracks close because of the bashing, and them tracks are growed up. So I can see with that. Any last thoughts before we get off here?
Yeah, we need a hog call.
Oh man.
Boy, you really thought we were going to forget about it, didn't you?
Yeah. How do I do it?
How do you do it?
What was it? Woo! Pig suey. There we go. Huh?
No.
I don't know how you do it. I'm not an Arkansas. I'm not an Oklahoma
person. I sent you a video here a while back. You need to. Woo! Woo! Pig!
Suey. I'm not doing it 3 times.
Pig! Suey! God dog it. I guess that'll have to work. That's all we're going to get out of you.
Everybody go watch Mississippi State win the national championship.
Mississippi State ain't doing a damn thing. This NC State's got them beat.
You just want NC State because y'all got beat by them.
They're a good team.
That sucks. Thank you.
Yeah,
I wanted to
yeah,
do-
you did. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
well, Willie, you have no idea. You could be getting the punishment again this week.
I
You don't
could.
know till
I
after
could.
Sunday.
I could. Guys, next show will be distributed through all the platforms. I will be sending a link out once it does hit, and it'll be sometime towards the end of the week. I will be once I send it out. All we need is y'all to share it. I'm getting with a logo person to get our podcast logo made, and shirts will be made for purchase. Once that gets, I will be buying them in bulk, and we'll give some of them away and stuff like that. But anything, y'all got anything before we close this thing out?
No, I've not got nothing.
Matt?
No. Looking forward to this weekend. A lot of points on the line for our own personal deal, but for our NASCAR fantasy players, you got a chance here this weekend if you want to try to
Doubleheader. Yep.
gain some ground here. So choose wisely.
Yep. Doubleheader. Remember, the points don't reset, but your picks reset after once the playoffs start. So.
You better get on your game if you're playing it because I'm coming.
He won this week.
I'm coming on strong.
Zach still leading overall points?
Zach is leading the overall points. I will tell you right fast what it is.
Did they start the feature of the Nationals yet?
Yes, Brian Shirley is winning it right now for Billy Moyer Jr. second. Right now it is Zach Adams, Daniel Vaught, Jeremy Klein, Willie, myself, Daniel, and there is Matt.
1 second here. I'm sitting 17th overall in the dirt draft. Just want to throw that out there.
And I'm sitting 18th, so don't count your chickens just yet, boy.
Well, you don't need to worry about mine because, well, I didn't get a driver in.
Yeah.
Damn it. But also, Bobby Pierce is in the back.
Oh. All right, we're going to get off here and watch the end of this race.
No, never mind. I just went up to 14th.
Damn, I fell too. I fell down.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
29.
Oh.
Guys, catch next week's show. We're going to recap the Firecracker, recap the Hell Tour, see if anybody can beat Kyle Larson. That's going to be another topic on there. And guys, I mean, shoot us something if y'all want us to talk about, hit on. I mean, get our thoughts on and stuff, and drop some tracks down that y'all want us to come to. You know, I'm off every other weekend, so I wouldn't mind traveling 2 or 3 hours to go to a track. So, shoot us a track. We're going to be coming to the tracks near you. We're going to be hitting some Arkansas tracks. I'm going to be hitting some Kentucky tracks, and we're going to shoot some stuff up Matt's way, and he's going to hit his local track. So, it's only up from here.
That's right. All right, guys. We got like 13 laps to watch, and I'm kicking butt again, so I want to get back to it.
All right. See y'all.
All right, see y'all.
Have a good one.